All right, well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Connection Hangout. My name is Paul Tyra, and I'm joined by my co-host there in Marietta, Georgia, David Asarno. David, are you out there?
I am. How you doing, Paul?
Fantastic, fantastic. I hear the weather's cooling down a little bit for you guys over there as well. Is that accurate?
It's fall is in the air.
So no more hot Atlanta.
We'll be nice Lanta, warm Lanta.
Nice Lanta.
Not hot Lanta.
Not Icelanta though. Okay.
Not Iceland. Well, you never know what's going to happen this winter again.
This week, right? All right. We're also joined online by Brent Brooks. He's moderating the comment thread. So if you do have any comments, go ahead and feel free to type them in there. If you just want to say hi and where you're viewing from, we'd love to hear from you. This is not a product or business presentation. Okay, what we do is we connect with real people, getting real results, and able to contribute to building your ASEA business from all different walks of life. We've had athletes, industry professionals like this evening. We've had corporate executives, diamond leadership. Again, here to explain and share their real-world experiences, and we allow you to get to know them too on a personal basis. If you would like more information on ASEA or Renew 28 as a product or the ASEA business opportunity, I'd encourage you to get back with the person who invited you to be on this Hangout and ask them after we're done how you can get more information. You also may see a more information button beneath the screen here that you could click on after we're done as well. Okay, without further ado, I'd like to pass it over to David so he can announce this evening's special guest. All you, David.
Thank you, Paul. Well, I'm really excited to have our guest back tonight. That's right. Natalyn Lewis is welcome back to Connection Hangout. Now, Natalyn is from Preston, Idaho. She's the youngest of 6 children. Natalyn, for those of you who didn't see it before, Natalyn is an academic All-American collegiate athlete, playing 5 years on Brigham Young University's women's soccer team. Now, after graduating with a bachelor's degree in marketing, Natalyn began working in the network marketing industry, and she's been doing that successfully now for over 17 years. She's worked with new startups to billion-dollar companies. Now, Natalyn has traveled to more than 20 different countries around the world, working with and coaching and teaching people to succeed in their life and in their business. Natalyn currently resides in Utah with her husband and their 4 beautiful children, and could not be more excited about the future for her life because she plans to impact the future of yours as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Natalyn Lewis.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be back. I'm excited to be with you tonight.
Fantastic. All right. So I get the first question, Natalyn, and it's been about 8 months since we've checked in with you here on the Hangout. It was awesome seeing you at convention. Your segment there on the duplication process received phenomenal feedback from everyone that I know who saw it and attended, and it's been watched many, many times on the YouTube replay. We wanted to bring you back to bring everyone up to speed with as much info as possible on what you've been working on with corporate now on the new duplication platform. And we'd also love to hear maybe some lessons that have been learned here over time in both the behavioral and the technology space regarding platforms and duplication systems, and also maybe give a little bit of info about what associates may have soon at their disposal to accelerate their business growth and to allow a higher percentage of new associates to actually achieve success. Let's see, what else did we have here? Before we get started, let's actually talk first about what some of the things has been happening there with your company and things that you've been working on since we've talked to you back there in January, February timeframe. Can you share what's been going on?
Yeah, Paul, we realized that the direction we were headed with our technology platform and what it was capable of doing to the industry was bigger than we even knew originally. And so in the last 11 months, we've been able to actually create a partnership where we're bringing the best of all of our learnings and knowledge together with some incredibly high-powered technology companies. We've got technology partners coming in with the CEO of our company coming from building two Silicon Valley technology companies of his own, We have a great technology partner company out of New York as well as India. We also have our team expanding vastly here in this area. We have a project here that's ranging in the $750,000 range to actually produce. Because of the intensity of the technology, it was time to take everything that we learned and actually make it really work to impact people's lives, and I could not be more excited about where we're at.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Now, one of the things that I remember we've talked about was behaviors, and one of the advantages that this technology provides the users of it. Now, I understand that you analyze the data from everyone's activities in the duplication system. What would you say are some of the top characteristics of those having success versus those who aren't?
Well, really, the top characteristics are taking their first action and the number of follow-ups that we see them do. It could not be overstated that the fortune's in the follow-up. You can see the data as clear as day that the people who make the first contact and then drop the contact do not have near the level of success. The people that are doing their consistent follow-ups the way they should are having tremendous success in comparison. But really, when it comes down to it, it's also taking the very first action. I can't overemphasize that statistically speaking, we see this incredibly consistent statistic that somewhere between 47% and 50% of every single person you ever bring into your business will do absolutely nothing, and it's not because they signed up with that intention. There is a population of that group, a small percentage of them actually, that they're not going to do anything. Who knows why they signed up? Maybe they were emotional in the moment. Maybe they signed up, they got home, and their spouse told them, I'm not supporting you, so they just walk away. That's such a small percentage, but unfortunately in network marketing, it takes the blame for all of this inactivity. Not the case. People made a business decision to be here, and they made that decision because they need to change their financial future. And they made a smart decision to become part of ASEA. Now, as a part of that, the reason that they're not taking action is genuinely a lack of confidence. I mean, I would love to just ask the question, and obviously I can't hear the audience response, but I want them to think for a second. When you started your ASEA business, how confident did you feel that you knew exactly what to do? And how long did you feel that confidence? Did you feel it for 10 seconds? Did you feel it for 10 minutes? Did you feel it for even a complete day? But then when you woke up the next day, you realized, oh my gosh, I own my own business, I run my own business, and I have no earthly idea what I'm doing. Because that is exactly what we found to be the case. And we are going to change the way this game is played. ASEA is partnering with us to bring about something that will be 100% game-changing. When the leaders of this company and the associates of ASEA start to comprehend even a portion of what the potential of this tool is, it will be such an essential element for your business. It will be an arsenal. For the rest of your career with ASEA, you won't even be able to imagine doing business without it because it is that powerful of a tool. Because what this tool does is, in essence, it solves that problem. I want you to think for a second of what would your business have been like. How would it have been different if when I signed up in ASEA, Paul Tyra and David Arsenault sat in desks right next to me, and every single thing I did, they helped me know exactly how to do it. They told me when to do it. And when something happened in response to it, they said, this is what you do now. And then something happens again, and they say, this is what you do now. If they sat right there, right next to you, and not just for your first 30 days or 60 days or 90 days, but for the entire length of your life at ASEA, how much more confident would you be to take action? Nothing can replace that first action being taken, and unfortunately, people's ignorance and lack of confidence stops them 9 times out of 10. And you're losing half of the growth of your business off of that lack, and we can fix it.
I would actually say that you're probably losing about 80 to 90% of your potential growth. I mean, if you look at statistics, I mean, you have measurable statistics, but overall sales average, less than 80% of people ever make more than 3 follow-ups. 90% of all actions are taken on the 4th or after follow-up, and most people never do it because of that lack of knowledge, that fear. They don't take those actions.
Absolutely, and we've even found that the people who take their first action, one of the reasons they don't follow up is, again, because they unfortunately, somehow, duplication has been packaged into this bottle of a document, this beautiful little piece of paper that says, do this, this, and this, and that document is awesome until your circumstances don't fit in it. Or until somebody responds, you say, the document told me to call that dude, and I did it. Then the document didn't tell me what to do next. The document didn't tell me how to respond to him. The document didn't, and fear, absolute fear that paralyzes these people. It has been a fascination to me because we don't just do analytical study. We analyze the data, but then we get into the psychographics of it. We actually contact people. We interview them. We go sit next to them and watch them work. I had an opportunity. I just finished doing this today, where I actually sat next to a gentleman while he made a phone call, and when he got done, talked to him. What was your emotional experience? What did you feel? Why were you scared to dial that phone number? And it was a practice phone call even, and he still experienced these emotions. And his words right back to me were, because I genuinely don't know what to say. Said, okay, and that's the thing, is that it doesn't matter how often people are taught. It's the way that teaching happens that becomes critical to make this change, and we've nailed that.
So let's talk about that. The actual learning process now and modality and learning on demand itself. Can you kind of clarify how people can get up to speed quickly with information that they need at that time?
Yeah, I want each of you to think for a second about how you learn right now. If you need to learn something, you're about to do something on your computer, for example, and you don't know how. What do? You go to Google, you Google it, and you watch a short informational video on how to do that exact thing that you're trying to do right now. Mm-hmm. What you don't do is when you're sitting there and there's 17 other videos on the right-hand side of the screen that teach you 17 other skills, you don't sit there and watch 18 videos and then go do that one thing you came there for. That's not how it works. And by the way, had you done that, you would have had to watch the first video over again because you'd had no clue what you were supposed to do. You would have forgotten everything. Mm-hmm. We have an ability to retain a certain amount of knowledge, but to make knowledge actionable, we need to hear it right now, right then, when we're ready to take an action. Unfortunately, in network marketing, very often knowledge comes in academy-type settings and fire hose settings, we call them, because a leader like yourself, Paul, would fly to a location, and you can't stay there forever. That's not your fault. So what you try to do is you try to give them all the information you can while you're there because they want it and they need it. And they hear that information, and then they go home, and they're supposed to take action with it. And the problem is that they learned so much, they almost don't know how to take action on the one thing. And what we've learned through study is that in today's society, often how people learn is in the action of actually doing it. Take children for video games. There are companies that have actually created educational video games. They don't give children instructions first. They don't say this is what the objective of the game is and this is how you play it. Push A to do this, push B to do this. They throw these kids in these games, and these kids just start playing until they figure it out. Mm-hmm. People like me, I'm old school. You know, if you take me outside of Pac-Man, Pac-Man was very clear. Follow the lines, chew up the monsters. Very these kids get into games. They just figure it out as they go, and the learning comes as they get positive responses to the behavior they took. And the way we learn in nugget-sized pieces, then we take the action, and once we've acted that out, it's now solidified as to what to do, and now we can move forward. The way this new system teaches and educates, you will never do anything in your business until you've been taught how to do it first. We know when you've done something and when you haven't. When you've done it for the first time, up it comes. And you won't be trained in an academy-type fire hose setting. You're going to be trained a piece at a time, right when you need to know it, exactly what you need to know, in nugget-sized pieces that you can retain and that are fully actionable.
Awesome.
Wow. This is cool. Not only do I love the technology that you're creating to teach people so they can actually implement and get positive results, there is a rumor out there that there's some I'm going here. There's a rumor out here about some kind of virtual assistant technology. Is there anything you can share with us?
Well, I can just say that Siri is going to have to take a back seat, right? I just think we're not going to talk about that at length, but I will tell you this. Sometimes rumors are true. And on Wednesday, I get an opportunity to sit down with the Diamonds of ASEA and really show them what this platform is and all that it can do for them. And I would highly encourage you to contact your local and your local Diamond when they get done on Wednesday and press them for every ounce of the details, because they can give them to you.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you.
Fantastic.
I had to try. You can't blame me for asking.
No, it was worth it.
All right. Well, maybe we could get some information on something we can talk about with regards to one of the most integral parts of the business, and that's prospect management. How are these processes improving, and the technology itself overall? Maybe a couple, little clues on how this is all progressing.
You know, one of the things we've learned so much as we've started to build the technology to support the processes, but one of the things that we've really learned is not just what people are supposed to do, but what people actually do. And that is an incredibly important thing to merge together, because if I build a technology that's designed for what you're supposed to do and never takes into account what you're going to actually be willing to do, then that technology is flawed, because it'll never support your pattern of behavior. What we have done is we have taken human nature and what you naturally want to do with what works, and we have put them together into a beautiful little melting pot of a toolbox that doesn't just provide you a toolbox, but pulls the tool out, puts it in your hand, shows you how to use it, and then helps you do that until you have completed that task, and then literally puts the tool back and hands you your next one. I think what most prospecting tools up until now do is they assume that you know how to use them. They assume that you know what to do with a prospect. They assume that you have all these prospects and you know exactly what to do with them, and really all you need is an organizational platform. That's not the case. Prospects are only as valuable as the recruiting and duplication model that you attach to them. Without an actual model on how to work with those prospects, your prospects are worthless. They're just a name in a system. But I'm not going to give you a place where a name in a system lives. I'm going to give you a place where a real person is living inside of a system that teaches you what to do with that person. And I'll give you one specific, because this is really cool. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail because, again, I can't. But I'll give you an example. Paul, if I were sitting with you and I was going to make a contact, you've probably taught me how to do that. And I probably could try. But how much more effective would I be if I sat and talked to you first and said, and Paul, you asked me a question or two, and you said, Natalyn, tell me a little bit about David, who you're going to call. And you asked me a few questions about David, and you said, because I know this about David, what if we tried a slightly different approach? Now, what if you had a contacting and recruiting tool that didn't treat every recruit the same? They didn't treat every one of your contacts like they're the same person, because they're not. What if it didn't treat every one of your contacts like you're going to approach them in the same way? Because you're not. And what if it didn't assume that you know what to say? And what if it didn't assume that you know how to manage the follow-up process? And what if it didn't assume that you know how to send out the right email and the right information afterwards? And what if it assumed that you don't know how to do any of that, but that it would walk you through each step one at a time, understanding who you're talking to and giving you that knowledge. And it had done that based on the cumulative knowledge of not only industry but your company leaders who have successfully been contacting people for years. How much confidence could you have in following that step-by-step process? And so we're changing the game. This is not a contact management system. This is not a static system that manages contacts. This is a system that teaches you how to make something beautiful happen with your contacts and drive success in ASEA with those contacts, and it works like nothing you've ever seen before.
Awesome. Awesome. Fantastic.
Well, if you're selling stock, I'm buying. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example of how cool this is without giving you any details.
Mhm.
We have 2 programmers that have built client management systems for their entire careers. Both programmers told me they have never in their lifetime seen something work as sophisticated and as intelligent as this system works. And they've built contact management platforms for some of the largest call structure industries in the world. So companies where they do outbound calling and their entire process is built on the phone with customers or potential clients.
Mhm.
They've built some for the largest in the world, and they said that they can't hold a candle to what we've done here. They've never seen anything like it. So
Wow.
we're kicking some butt and taking some names.
Fantastic.
It sounds like it, and
I
I was
love
actually I was actually serious. So the future is obviously so bright that we're gonna have to wear shades. So, any final closing thoughts on what the future may hold for us?
I think this. One of the reasons why people find network marketing to be a challenge is because inside of network marketing, you are required to be a business owner with a business plan to move forward independently. That's what you are. You're an independent associate, and yet you've never done it before. And our leaders that have done it before and have truly experienced success don't have time to spend with each individual person like they want to. I mean, I'm sure Paul would tell you if he had his choice, if time was never a problem and he could be anywhere, he would probably sit with every single person he signed up. And he would probably sit with them for days and days and days and days and days until they could look at him and say, Paul, I don't need you anymore. I feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, life doesn't work that way. And I asked the question, why not? And now we've built the technology to answer that question.
That's
and
awesome.
we're very excited to work with ASEA to release it.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic. Yeah, and especially now we live in such a high-paced society. Things are moving so fast, and gaps of time don't overlap in people's lifestyles. That it really is impractical, and especially again, yeah, leveraging all this phenomenal technology that we have access to.
That's so cool.
Super. All right. Well, thanks so much, Natalyn. Appreciate it.
Yes.
We're looking forward to seeing you next week there. Excited, especially. Not excited of all the phone calls I'm going to be getting here. I'm going to have to get my Do Not Disturb little message going on next Wednesday. Just kidding. But yeah, we are just all super pumped up about.
Voicemail is full.
Voicemail is full.
Yeah, Paul, you're gonna even you who know quite a bit about what we're doing. I think that you're going to be pleasantly surprised at some unveilings that are going to happen on Wednesday.
Fantastic, fantastic! I can't wait. I'm actually coming in a day early, so to make sure that I'm all bright-eyed, bushy-tailed for that. All right. Let's see. I also want to thank here David Asarno for my co-host once again. Thanks, David.
My pleasure, Paul. And let's give a huge round of applause to Paul Tyra.
Good applause for myself. And of course, Brent Brooks out there, who's moderating our comment thread each and every week. Thanks so much, Brent, for tuning in. Next week, special announcement, because of this event that we've been talking about and the Envision conference, we will not be doing a Connection Hangout. But we will have some very special guests that we've been working on for quite a while to be on subsequent weeks. So be sure to keep an eye on the connectionhangout.com for those updates. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Go out and have a fantastic rest of your evening, rest of the week, and I'll see you later. Take care, everybody.
See you later.